I wanted to do another video to show from a biblical view why I believe the earth has got to be a globe and can't be flat. There's a lot of misunderstandings that people have about the Bible, and especially when it comes to Genesis chapter 1. So I want to look at the first 10 verses or so of Genesis chapter 1 and then just kind of discuss why I believe that clearly we live on a global earth and not on a flat earth. Genesis chapter 1 says this, verse 1, "In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth." Verse 2, "And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters." We find a lot of water on the earth right from the beginning. Verse 3, "And God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, 'Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters.'" Verse 7, "And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day." Verse 9, "And God said, 'Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear,' and it was so." Up until this point, we don't find dry land, we find water. And I don't know how a person could believe that we've got, water. Typically, if you have a body of water, the surface of it will be flat, sure. But if you have a whole bunch of water, the water itself isn't going to be flat. You're going to have water that you can dive into, and it's going to have a shape to it of some sort. In a swimming pool, it'd be square. But I believe when God's creating the earth, we've got this huge globe probably of water. And God says in verse 9, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear," and it was so. Verse 10, "And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas, and God saw that it was good." So now let's look at another couple of verses really quick too. Isaiah chapter 40, verse 22. "It is he that sitteth upon the circle of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that spreadeth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in." Now Job 26, verse 7 says this, "He stretcheth out the north over the empty place, and hangeth the earth upon nothing." So the earth is on absolutely nothing. And I don't know that people that believe in a flat earth would think it's necessarily on something or anything anyway. But if it's on nothing, then there's nothing under it. Let's look also at Psalm 148, verse 4. It says, "Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens." Now these are the verses that I wanted to bring into this video. There's waters even above the heavens. I believe that what we really have is a universe that is kind of enclosed like a dome, that has waters that are surrounding the heavens. Psalm 148 verse 4, praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens. So we've got water that is outside of even the sun, moon, stars, the heavens, where the heavens are. And of course, I believe this would be ice. It isn't going to be running liquid water. We do find scientifically that out in space, most of the measurements out there in space are near absolute zero, and I forget exactly how cold that is, but it's way below freezing. So I believe that most certainly these waters are most likely a frozen water-like barrier that surrounds outside of the sun, moon, and stars. And then we've got the waters on earth, which I believe is another globe. And we found in the verse that I was looking at a minute ago too, that God spreads out the heavens as a tent to dwell in. So I believe that we have really a whole lot of circles to deal with, a whole lot of global type shapes to deal with. We can look at the sun, and obviously it's circular in shape. We can look at the moon, obviously it's circular in shape. Pretty much everything that we see out in space seems to have some type of a kind of global or a spherical, round type of a shape to it. And I've done a couple videos before explaining other reasons why I believe the Earth has to be round. You can get in an airplane and fly and go all the way around the Earth and end up right back where you are. You can head north or south or east or west. It doesn't matter what direction you want to go. But if you go straight, you can actually take a straight course, go all the way around the Earth, and end up back where you are. And also time zones and things like that. And of course, I believe that the Earth isn't moving. And that's another thing we can look at really quick here. In verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. The earth is already there. It isn't until day 4 that God creates the sun, moon, and stars. And there's no talk ever in the Bible of the earth moving. There's a lot of talk in the Bible of the sun moving. It even talks about the sun running a circuit and things like that in one of the Psalms. And of course, there's sunrise, sunset in the Bible, and even even heliocentrists talk about sunrise and sunset, but they don't actually think that that's literal. But that is what we observe, and I believe that that is biblical. The Bible very clearly indicates sunrise, sunset. Joshua commanded the sun to stand still, and the moon also to stand still. So whether you believed in heliocentric or a geocentric, you've got a body that is supposed to be orbiting that's standing still. And of course, I believe the earth isn't moving at all, but the sun and the moon go around the earth, and the earth is a globe. But I hope that this will give something to think about anyway. I think that all of Genesis chapter 1 really needs looked at very closely by everybody, because I believe pretty much everyone that has wrong views about the Bible or about the world or about pretty much anything has some wrong views also about what the Bible just plainly teaches in Genesis chapter 1. But thank you for your time.